Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first issue of The End, Episode 1. This is the drawing process of this online Webtoon comic book. And in this voiceover, I will try to speak a little bit about my drawing process and about the story that is now available for you to read on Webtoon. This is the story of Dimitri. He is the last living being in the universe. He has one mission, and that is to send out a beacon. Not just any beacon, but an beacon that encompasses all the knowledge that he and his people have gathered throughout the ages, throughout their very long existence. And they did this by gathering other beacons, gaining their information, then adding it to their own. And of course, he has come to the end of the road. He is now doing and checking all of his instruments and is realizing that his time has run out. The energy source of his ship is coming to its end. There are no new stars, there are no new lights, there are no new celestial bodies. Everything is going dark. The universe is ending in a quiet, dark place. And this is the story of the end. And it really is the end. I hope that if you stop and read this comic on Webtoon, which is an online comic book website, that you will find this story, that you will enjoy it, because it does have an end. It really is the end. And I think that you will enjoy this process. A little bit about my art. I have been hesitant to create this comic, tell this story that I've had in my head for years. And I decided that it was time to put it out, even if it wasn't finished, even if it wasn't at the level artistically, stylistically, where I wanted it to be. I thought, and I heard several other amazing artists here on YouTube and on other platforms talk about the process of creating the art and the process and the painful process of realizing that no matter how many times you redo an issue, no matter how many times you rework on a piece of art, you will not be satisfied with it until you think that it's perfect. But to someone who has never seen it, to someone who is new to your work, it'll be perfect. It'll read correctly. And I think that that's what I try to do by showing you this process, by showing you the process of episode 1 of The End. This is a sci-fi story. This is the sci-fi story of our main character, Dimitri. He is the last living being in the universe, and his mission is to complete one final task, to send a beacon out into space. For whatever comes next, whatever new life form comes out of this darkness, will find it, and there will be some record of all of those people, all of those things, all of those creatures that lived and that existed. And so he feels that now that he realizes that his ship, his energy source has run out, that it's time for him to complete his final task. And this is episode 1. And this is what you're seeing here. He has some armor that he adds to himself, of course, that he puts on in order to navigate space. He has an armor that he puts on normally in order to help him preserve his energy. His race is extremely advanced. The data that he carries inside of him that will be added to the beacon is actually all collected in his blood, in his DNA. Now, the stylistically, this comic book can be more on a darker tone, but I think you'll be surprised by future issues on how the tone of this comic book stylistically and also I think visually and color-wise will change and alter the story as the story changes. This is the last story of the last living being in the universe. His name is Dimitri, and he has decided that the time has come to fulfill his mission as the last being, as the last person of his kind, and in the universe that is alive. He is completing the last mission of sending out a beacon into the farthest part of space in hopes that whatever new creature, whatever new life form comes along will find it and will be able to learn from the knowledge that's been gathered. And this is episode 1. I'd say that my artwork is very, it definitely has my stylistic choices. Not everything is perfect, and I'm not claiming that my art is perfect, but this is definitely where I am now. And I hope that as we move into further issues and this story begins to unfold, that my artwork will also begin to change and alter as the story calls for it. I love using twisted perspective on things that you would normally be so easy to just add into a regular perspective grid. I do not like that. But if a situation calls for it, I will definitely alter my style in order to fit the story that I'm trying to tell. This story is called The End. It's exactly that. This is the last story of the last human being. I'm not going to say he's human, that was a bit of a rush, but I will say that this is the last human, the last living being. Not necessarily human, but he is the last living being. And this is the last story of this character. His name is Dimitri, and as the story progresses, it will definitely be the end. Along the way, there will be more than one adventure, and I hope that you stick around. I hope that you enjoy the story because this is a story I've had for a very, very long time, and I've been wanting to tell the story of the end. The end doesn't end in a flash of light. The end doesn't end or come to an end in some catastrophic way. The end comes quietly, in silence, and in darkness. And I hope that you stick around to read that story because even as this darkness closes in, as this mission that he decides to take upon himself comes and winds to its end, you'll see that this is more than just a story about the end. It's a story about ingenuity, about survival, about heart, about sacrifice. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 1 of my comic book on Webtoons, The End. I hope you enjoy it, and I can't wait for you to see the story I want to tell. Till next time, take care of yourself.